Okay, hello and welcome to the Off-Grid Dev Stream. Sorry for the delay there. We've just been debugging a few things to get the wonderful world of the Milliways and CCC Camp mod all kind of coming at you live. Yeah, I had a couple of things I needed to do to get all the windows working in the right places, so I could chat to all you wonderful people. I have McFly with me, as always. Say hi, McFly.
Hello, how are you all?
Yeah, I think we're doing well. I've got the scene up in the background. You're walking around above ground. We've got something to debug and work out as to what's going on.
I guess we're going to do this on the stream.
Yep. Looking through the treetops at the moment. To work out what the bandwidth deal is with. I actually don't have. Yeah, a bit slightly. Video. But we can see what you're doing. Video. It's set to high. Maybe. Cool. So what are you looking at in particular at the moment? This is all of the new kind of. We've kind of built up most of the map now, all of the flora and stuff, right?
Yeah, we now have a landscape to walk in. We have the whole CCC ground. Basically, we extended the Milliways map out to the CCC camp map. We have some trees placed already. There is still a ton of trees, and all of the bushes still missing. Yep. But we started to have some things here. At the moment, I'm walking towards the hill and the sea base. It's a nice and interesting view to see this from the sky, being kind of 10 meters high in the sky for this. But yeah, that is a sea base village that I'm walking towards here.
Yep.
Because as you possibly remember on the last live stream, we built a sea base camp. And you can see in the background, you can see a bit of the factory that still needs some design. You can still see the hill yep. With the rather weird tower. We have to work on the background because there's somewhat a Central Park feeling at the moment.
It does, yeah. So, I mean, that's something I could teach you to do tonight quickly. Building a skybox is not the hardest thing in the world. I guess. Do you know what? You've got some 360 photos, right?
Yeah, I think I do. But I think I have none of the area around that. So we might want to find a solution for this. So there's
what rockets. What we want to do is make a skybox. We could make a skybox with the real sky. If anyone got a nice CCC camp 360 picture, it doesn't really need to have very much in it. In fact, you don't really want it. You want it to not have any foreground. I mean, it's maybe. Well, fundamentally, we just need someone's 360 picture of a sky, any sky, because it doesn't matter whether it's the one from camp or not, does it? The Ziegeleipark sky is the same sky that you see everywhere else.
Oh, you see? The floor is as high as the mountain is high. I'm now on the ground.
That's weird. Yeah, we're going to have to work out what's going on there. We've got Manu in the chat. Good to see you, Manu. And we've got Mustmis. Or Seamstum. Read it backwards in the same way as you read Manu's name. Backwards. Yeah,
So we need
head over to
build-
Graffle for Manu to see.
Yes, I'm working there at the moment, and it would be nice to get someone.
Hold spacebar. Should sprint. But you're faster. Oh, hang on. Is he starting to drop? No. That's so weird. I don't. Well, it's going to be fun to work out why you're floating in the air.
So yeah, this is the Graffle village as it is at the moment, where we still have to make nicer tents, make more tents, put them according to the pictures. But this is a Graffle village with
Nice.
their cooking tents. I think we should spend them some beer kegs over there.
Yeah, we could definitely.
We actually have the models, and we need to still put a lot of stuff into the tents. But we have something already.
Yeah.
That works. And actually, this type of tent that we had there looks less broken in the game than it looks in the editor.
Well, that's good.
I would say so.
Yeah. Well, should we do that then? Should we jump back into the editor and well, get your ground plane stuff worked out and move some beer kegs over to Garaffle?
Yeah.
Fog. Manu said fog. Yeah, Manu, that's your job. You've got to sort out the fog.
We can help him, but can I run through the trees, or is there some object collision?
I think you can run through them at the moment.
Yeah, there is no object collision yet. Let's go over to the milliways. At the moment, we're running over the pirates. Actually, it's over there. That is where the pirate was. There are several villages over here. Over there, we will build next week the hardware hacking area.
Yep.
And possibly one of the things we should do in the days is put the balloons around up in the sky.
Yeah, we could do that today. That'd be a nice. Just do a little bit of set decoration with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the map at the moment is 2 meters over the ground, and it gives us a weird feeling of a small morning haze.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It does.
So you got a first impression, everyone on the stream, how this will look with a sky-high player, which we should fix. Because I would like to be able to walk through that door over there. And I'm sure that Laurie doesn't want to hang up sky behind the sky.
Mustme
I
says,
see a bug over there.
Why you guys are using Jitsi instead of Discord? I mean, I didn't even know that Discord did video well. So, Mustmees, if you want to educate us as to a way that we could do that better, especially to connect with the Discord community that we already have, then I'm more than happy to do so. I guess, like, the fundamental reason we default to Jitsi is because Jitsi is open source, right?
Well, I think that the fundamental reason is that we started this also as a milliways mod, and I just happen to have set up Jitsi for milliways. This is like our default tool.
So, generally speaking, when we can, we use open source tools, and Jitsi is quite reliable from that perspective. So, yeah, I guess.
But I think we're streaming on Twitch and on YouTube, so it should be possible to possibly also use Jitsi and Discord there.
I do wonder whether Well, I mean, to be honest, it's probably my crappy broadband connection, because I'm not the one playing, but I'm the one streaming. So the reason that you're getting a sort of slightly jaggy image of the game is not because it's running badly on McFly's computer, because the packet's getting to me before I then stream it over to you guys. They're already a bit jumpy.
Yeah, we should possibly at some point try to set it up the way that I also can do the streaming, because I think my connection here in the middle of Rotterdam, in the heart of Holland, is a bit beefier than your countryside connection.
I think it really is. Yeah, I think that would be a good idea. I mean, maybe we'll do that for next week with well, not next week, the week after next with Mitch.
Yep, I will try to set this up. So let's try to get around here. Yeah, there's some things we need to fix. This all moved a bit.
Yeah. That was because I was messing about with stuff.
Yeah, I think we have to do some small clearing there. Milliway is moved in relationship to the floor. Minor problem, we can fix that today. So this is how it looks on the ground. Let's try to get to the same position than the players. I find it interesting to see that in the, like, if I'm here in the editor for Unity, and the colors over here are way more vivid, like living.
In what sense?
Do you see the colors?
Yeah. Well, for what? The colors of what things?
Of the game, like at the moment. Okay. And if I now compare this to this, this is a bit grayish.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you why that is. I mean, what you're looking at in the editor there doesn't have any of the kind of HDR stuff and camera effects and post-processing. So in the build, you've got a load of kind of essentially post-processing and gamma correction and things like that we're doing to make it look prettier.
Yep. Okay. So what do we have to what do we have to do? We have to fix the ground.
Yeah, fix the ground. I'm just gonna tweet at Jonty and Russ and see whether they might jump in and wave at us. So if they turn up, we can maybe add a few more kegs to the camp and get them to send us the correct logo for the flag they had on it.
Yeah.
That in.
I also reduced my quality a bit, so don't know if that now got better.
It's always hard to tell in the end.
Good. So we've had a very quick view. Let's go to work and get this fixed. So what do we have to fix? We slightly have to move the... Do we have to move the milliways a bit to the west, or do we have to move the plane?
It's probably that the map is slightly... I mean, you can do either or, down to you. I would avoid moving the map if you can shift.
Because here over there is also trees in the building now. Do you see that?
Yeah, so it's almost like the Millerways. It might be the trees of Bryn. See if you can more likely just the trees are in the wrong place, right? Because the Millerways, in terms of its relation to the roads and stuff.
I am not 100% sure, because we also have this overview here, and I think the trees were rather pretty close to the road here. And I have the feeling the Milliways is moved compared to the road. Let's check.
But then those two white buildings, what were those called? Those sheds.
Yeah, the drying sheds.
They look
I
like
think
they're
they
in the
moved
right
too.
place. Oh,
No,
really?
they also need to move a bit to the west. But yeah, he's a bit slow, but he's a lot faster than I would be running towards the Grafe village.
It's do you know what? The weirdest thing about this is, I'm gonna know more about this camp than the camps that I've been to. You know, like I'm gonna be more aware of the geography of CCC Camp 19 than of my memories of EMF 2018.
Yeah.
Or of SHA 20. What was SHA 2017 or 2017?
Yeah, Grafe looks good. So this is still the distance we had from the tents to the rear. And that looks good here, unless Manu disagrees. But over here we have slightly moved double tents now. That is just two of the same type of tents slightly next to each other. But that's an easy fix, right?
Yeah, now that your quality is lower, it does look better. It's jaggy.
Yeah, I removed from HRF to HD to normal quality. And CBS also looks somewhat okay for me.
Manu says looks awesome, really, to him, the layout for Grapple.
That still can be a bit better.
Oh yeah, I mean, we put more beer over there. Definitely.
Yeah, first of all, we need to put more beer kegs in there. Then we need to put content into the tents.
Yep.
And
devices to hack, and then we need to put Manu in there. And
yep, Manu and Honkaza and all of them to be in the game, so you can walk up to them and prost with them at least.
Yep.
And they can all yell Grafe. But I think it's really only the Milliways that's wrong. And you can see here that the trees are slightly off. So
yeah,
I
the
think
trees seem weird. I don't know why it's the trees in the ways that.
Yeah.
Oh, I tell you where you could go and check as to whether the trees are off from the map is, you know, the parking area, or you know, whatever that. There's like this area that you put a load of trees in already. That's around a bunch of roads.
Do you know what here? Do you see the map overlay and the road? Is this... no, this is actually because of the perspective.
Yeah, that is the one thing that is correct.
Anyway, time to get to work.
Yep.
It's a bit sad to get out, but at any time we can just get back, right?
Yep.
Into the editor.
So, the map, you've moved it underneath, but you're saying that
the map is this one here. So if I move it up 2 levels again, so this is the map, as you can see, and it feels a bit like a water level, right?
Yeah.
So this is 2 meters up. So this is how it looked. The speakers were just out of the.
Really, you just want to make it invisible. You can make it invisible by either going to the inspector and there's a tick box. Sorry, the inspector on the right hand. Next to the word map in there, there's a little tick box. That's that one. Enable, disable. That's an important thing to be aware of because you might use it for scripting later. Like you might choose to hide and show various objects, and when you do that in scripts, that's technically what it's doing is ticking and unticking.
Yeah. So this is all of milliways. Do you want to see if we can now fix the position?
Yeah.
Is this all of milliways?
Well,
No, it's not the trees.
It's not the trees. No, the trees should all be rested. I think the trees are under the Ziegeleipark. Manny says, "Be careful what you wish for having characters of them running around screaming Garafel."
Yeah, I
work out the sound
good for that.
You got used to that.
Well, I have way more experience of that than most people that watch this stream here. So, milliways. So. Is this? No, I think it's even further. I personally think this is too far.
Well, I'm not. I think the trees themselves need shifting around, and I think.
I see there is more objects that are part of milliways. So over there is a tent at the Garafel village, which is moving with milliways, I guess.
Yep. Well, that's a whole different conversation about cleaning up prefabs.
Yeah, and the tower of the mountain is possibly off.
Well, that's okay. I mean, because.
And if you look over there on the left here, this is the poles from the
inside of it or something.
Yes, this is the poles from the. Well, that is moving with milliways.
I mean, I would consider moving that back and checking that it isn't trees that.
Over there is also some trees that are. Oh no, that is now I have selected Ziegeleipark. No, that's correct.
No, this is if you go past Garafel, there is a.
This way. Yes, this now also fits with the trees here.
Okay.
The whole trees are wrong.
I think the trees are wrong. I think the trees are wrong because we did them to the old map, and then the new map came in, and the new map was slightly different.
Okay, how do I pick the trees?
Well, I think most of them are just under the base Ziegeleipark. So I mean, you might want to kind of Oh no, there is a trees object. There's in the base Ziegeleipark there is a trees object, but not all trees are in it. You might want to.
And I need to change this view. This is now an angled view. See that here?
Yeah, that's the local to world space button, which is you've got your scene view. Yeah, up. So you know the other side of Garafel, there's like a quite complex set of roads and a load of trees that you've done. I think that's good reference for where the trees need shifting to put them in the right place. If you went the other side of yeah, you see those trees in the far distance there? Yeah. Okay. Yep, there you go. Those need shifting around as well, because some of those are even in the road. See? And I think if you shift those into the right location, you may well get all of the trees to the right location.
So now I need to find the identifier for the map.
Yeah, so there's actually lower down in
Is there some hotkey I can move this up by 2 meters? Like shift string goes up?
I mean, you can just in the pause on the right hand side.
There he is.
Map. Oh, that's all you were looking for.
Yeah. Yep, they're slightly off. So I need to fetch those. Then I need to get that one. Yep.
Yeah. And then I guess go and have a quick check into Milliways and see whether that makes everything in Milliways look like the trees are in position again. Just kind of use it.
Garafel doesn't have trees, so that's good. Well, it's hard to see for the people. I'm actually having the event phone map open on the other one, so I can actually see a reference. But those trees over here look somewhat okay. There's still slightly too much. No, it's still slightly off. I can already tell that. There are some trees still here. I think this will need some handwork.
Yeah, I mean, it's likely that whenever this kind of thing happens, and especially if your reference changes, you know, the map that we put in over the top of this, actual kind of event phone map, it's gonna have, you know, sort of mildly different scale to the when we first started. Stuff good, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think we started off with the Google Maps map and then changed to the event phone map. So
I think that's sort of a bit of a difference.
But if I am looking, this is now not really bad. This 4 trees here are wrong. But they're wrong by itself. The rest of them look actually...
Those 4 trees might not even be in the trees group. That might be part of the problem.
Yeah, no, I selected all of them, the trees group and those trees.
Oh, yeah. Well, you might as well drop the ones that aren't in the trees group into
Prefab?
Yep. Just select those trees again and drop. Go back out of the basic part.
Yep. Now I can select all the trees.
Select all the trees, hack all the things.
Yeah. And I think this needs some minor adjustments over here, but in general, that's not bad.
Good. That's good to hear. Worked.
Yeah. Well, I now have a tree in my thing here, but I think that is... I will have to replant all the trees at Milliways anyway. But Milliways is now off. We will see. We'll fix this. So yeah, we have this. I can now go there again and disable the map again.
Yep. Oh,
yeah, there is some minor cleanup here that is needed, but that's sitting with a beer in the evening. We've done so much with all of the other villages lately that I guess Milliways might be a bit off meanwhile.
Yeah. Well, I would say maybe going and throwing some beer kegs and stuff around Garafel.
Okay.
Maybe a bet. So you want to go down to the projects window and I mean, I wouldn't just copy them from there because that's how you've ended up with weird prefab problems.
Aww.
Let's do it the clean
Circuits 10 chair parent. Yeah,
yes.
That sounds like we have to fix something there properly. But I like all the whiskey bottles and the small tans and all of that stuff. Let's leave it by this. So you had a better idea.
I did. So what I want you to do is go into the Garafel village prefab. Yep. Oh no, that hasn't gone into it somehow. Double click it again. Or click. Oh no, you need to click the little arrow to the right. So this is our Garafel village prefab.
The tents are missing.
Well,
I think they're still part of Milliways.
There you go. So that's a thing we need to fix then. So what you can do, remember what I...
May I, by the way?
May you what? Go and fix it. Go and get the
No,
tents.
this is something... This is shifted around because this is part of Milliways. See?
Yeah. Right, so what you want to do is take them out of Milliways.
Yep.
Try and drop them in raffle. Hopefully it will see.
Do we need to pull them up maybe first, like out of our?
Yeah, I mean, pull it above Village Milliways because it looks like this Garaffle Pagoda is completely out of stuff as well. Yeah, try and drop it there. Yeah, we'll let you. Oh, Craig.
What is the pagoda? Ah, this thing. Well, it's time to all go to architecture 10s. Still not part of the prefab.
What's not part of the? Yeah, well, no, it won't. It won't be immediately. Hang on, sorry, I'm just doing some quick fixing of. Yeah, no, it won't be. So, oh no, well, where did you put it?
Into Village Garaffle.
Right.
10s.
Yeah. Oh,
and now it's there.
They're not in the pre. Well, that is because you've now got to override the prefab. So go, click on Village Garaffle, and now on the inspector there's a button called Overrides.
Inspector.
Yep. Yep. Right of that window. Overrides. And that is all the changes in that prefab, and you can just hit apply all. Yeah. And hopefully, yeah, they've gone blue. Those things you've added have gone blue. Now they should be in. Yep.
Yeah. So now we need to move them around.
Yes, but you want to do it from within the prefab if you can, because then you don't have to then keep hitting apply overrides or whatever. Well, it's down to you. If you prefer having the context of everything else.
I have it easier because what I'm missing here is the rear building where I need to position them for. And there is something else that is missing in the Garaffle. And so it's possibly easier for that run, which is the floor. So for this one, I will actually see that floor is somewhere completely different. We have to do the override anyway. And now we need to select those two. Why is this here? Have we selected something else with them? See, here's the changing.
Well, you know, that might just be. That's. Yeah, that is weird. I mean, what about if you select one of them? What if you, in the hierarchy, just select one rather than...
I have now both, and I've made it from pivot to center, and now it fits again.
Well, that. Yes, doesn't technically.
Somewhat fixes it. Let's.
Yeah, it fixes.
Do you see this?
Problem kind of skewed. Yeah, I mean, this is the.
The tent is not straight.
No, it's not. So in rotation, it says it is. I mean, this is something that you're just gonna learn as you go along. Is like, kind of, as you learn what things do and how to manipulate and rotate and transform and things like that, you'll get a hang of it and you'll realize, oh, this thing that I did before was a bit of a hacky way of doing it, and that has knock-on effects. So, you know, like parenting objects and not being aware of the transforms of existing parent We've got Jonty's turned up. Hey, Jonty. Johnny says this is awesome. We'll try and get these tents fixed in the Garaffle area, and then we'll swing by Milliways and show you the EMF tent. What we need from you, Jonty, is there was a purple EMF flag or banner that you had on your tent, and well, not on your personal tent, on the EMF tent. Yeah, and if you've got any artwork, or whether like one of the images off the website would be appropriate for us to appropriate for sticking on that would be handy texture for us to grab. This is one of those instances, McFly, where now that you've got the hang of some of this stuff, that would be better to make as a like less complex object. Does that make sense? Maybe make from scratch without all of the edges.
Well, I moved it by 1 degree and now it fits.
Yep.
Right?
Well, yeah.
So for a weird reason of not this whole thing here is, let's get the global view again. Where was the ground? Can we duplicate that? And even though I think this is a rather cool ground floor, I think we might want to give this a different texture at some point.
Well, that's the prototyping texture. So while you're doing that, you can essentially, well, it depends what you want to do. I mean, I always think it's good to leave the sort of placeholder prototyping texture on stuff while you know it's still work in progress. But I mean, it sort of helps remind you that you might need to go back to it. But essentially, it's just changing the material over from the Pro Builder material to one of the off-grid materials.
Quick question to Manu: is this roughly the rear of the tents to the building? Is that roughly? Does this look like the proper distance?
Let us know, Manu. What do you think it is at the minute in the world? That look like?
Okay, says I think so. That's good. I think the shaders are still a bit too big here because they're nearly as big as the whole Voltaire villages. But we have to make them a bit smaller. Lower, actually. I'm eyeballing this, so. But yeah,
it's all good. Fundamental, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay. John D hasn't seen the EMF cam tent, so let's go to the EMF cam tent. And then we should try to fix the flying around.
So that you can walk on. Oh, there we go. We can fix the temporary texture there as well. So that little platform is the EMF cam tent. As you can see, we've got like purple square in place of your EMF banner.
That
So,
looks wrong.
yeah. Oh, it's because you just shifted.
Is this like 10 centimeters thick?
Yeah, it's a bit crazy, isn't it? I mean, what was that? Was that like a wooden platform or something?
I didn't think there was anything at all.
Carpet there?
I think that was just this. No, I think this whole thing should just disappear, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, it's just a random shape.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where is it? Cube 1.
Right, want you to work in the.
Thinking. Yep. I think that is actually. So, John T, remember this? So we placed some trees, the desks in here already. That am I feeling a bit big?
It might be that we need to make the tent a bit bigger. Because remember.
Yeah, I think the tent is actually too small.
Yeah, on top of that, everything has to be bigger than it was in real life anyway, because of the way that the third-person camera functions. So don't scale like that, first and foremost, because you'll get weird results like that. Use the faces selection. So you're on edges, use faces.
Didn't we have the problem that the center of the tent then moves?
Yeah, but we can fix that kind of thing. The hacks. I mean, fundamentally, I mean, this is a hacky, cheated way of making a tent anyway. Like, you would probably eventually, once you get it roughly right, then export this as an OBJ and get someone to build something in a bit more detail. That's been made with ProBuilder in the actual scene.
Maybe the EMF camp team actually has somebody that knows how to use Blender.
Maybe. I would have thought there are a few.
Maybe John T would know.
Hopefully, well, hopefully we'll hear from him in the chat. Now he's online. I've seen a couple of tweets. Should we try and model the dome for you? Depends on which dome.
The dome.
Yeah, we have
I have the feeling this is also. The benches are pretty big.
the benches fit the character size, so what you want to do is try and make the tent big.
Yeah.
It will means you'll end up having to spread things around, and you know, we may, we may find that all kinds of things end up having knock-on effects and stretched around.
There will be a lot of small hand pulling and dragging and making this to size, but still so much fit the map.
Yeah.
Good. We wanted to get some kegs. And I can't select them weirdly. I think we had a keg in the front at the road though. Yep, there's the keg. I also can't select this keg. I have found 3 kegs. So, how do we get them over to the gravel village? And
well, this is where I was telling you about cheating. So you really want to, instead of just dragging them from somewhere they already exist, because you'll end up with duplicates that stay in the prefab that you're. What you instead want to do is just get the Graffle Village prefab opened up. And then go down the, the project window at the bottom. Go to the Millaways props or outdoor props or whatever, and just have a look at CCC props. There you go.
I see a beer keg.
Interior props. I love that. The interior props folder literally has 3 whiskey bottles, a beer keg, and a disco ball. That's pretty much all you need for interior props.
Yeah, well, that's at least a start.
In one of the camps.
And I think we can already start just by not only moving over the beer kegs, but I think we also need a table and some beer kegs, some whiskey bottles in there.
Yeah, well, my suggestion would be basically, now that you're in here, drop one of each of those into this prefab. Or unless you don't, I think there was a disco ball over there as well, wasn't there?
I'm pretty sure they have a disco ball.
I think they had a disco ball on the kind of clay silo thing.
Yeah, that could be. So let's drop a disco ball in there. Where do I drop it into? Props?
Just drop it into the scene, or into props in the
like this?
Yeah, props makes sense. Under static props. Yep. And I don't know what hit F. No, while they're selected, then hit F. There you go. Zoom out a bit, I guess, see how much of a wrong place they are. This is a poor feature. Now hit W.
The bottles are all in the keg.
Yeah, Yeah, that can all just be separated out pretty easy.
First of all, object mode. Now we also have a handle. Sturzflug. Let's get at least over the ground.
Oh, the Milliways dome is in the ground. Raising.
So, disco ball.
When you write Whiskey Leaks, you write it as in Scottish whiskey without the E, right? Whiskey Leaks.
That depends. Usually, or sometimes usually I write the Scottish one. Sometimes I put the E in brackets.
If you were doing a hashtag on Twitter, it would just be...
Without Scottish.
Yep, makes sense to me.
So, disco ball now seems to be at somewhat the right place. Manu, can you see that? Can you confirm that the disco ball is here at the right place? The beer keg, I think... was it the kitchen tent? So let's populate the kitchen tent with beer kegs. Okay. Where in the kitchen tent were your beer kegs? Okay, do we duplicate this now? And this needs colors. This has some weird colors.
I think that might be because it's mainly...
Another thought.
Go over there.
Yeah, that looks right.
Oh, it's
This wall also is right.
might be the prefab view. Bring shaders and then rendering vertex.
Yeah, that works for me. I can keg to the left. How many kegs do you had? Were there in the in your village, in your kitchen tent? I think it's easily 10. I saw some pictures there. So we cannot duplicate this, right?
Yeah, just hit Control D.
Die wundersame Biervermehrung.
Okay. Now I realize why I've been missing out on on Caraffle all my life. I realized that they I mean, like we struggled to get through. I suppose it was because I brought kind of obscure English ales, but we struggled to get through 3 kegs at Shah, if you remember.
Yeah. Oh, Midway's had like 25 camps, 25 kegs this year. So.
Oh right, yeah, because
we were more at 30.
CCC camp is that much bigger, isn't it?
Yeah. So, yes, I really need to have this feature in real life. I totally agree on that. So, next thing that we need to focus on. Where are the whiskey bottles? The whiskey bottles are there. The whiskey bottles go in the main tent. Actually, we need a bench. Where are the benches? Because I think we need a bench under this shade, and we're going to put all the whiskey bottles in this tent here. Can I move them this way now if I don't duplicate them? Where else? I put them a bit out of the way. So I'm going to put this way. Yeah. This is actually weird. If you look for this now. So see here? They're perfectly in a line.
Oh.
We're gonna leave this here for a second and make a focus on the beer bottles. So the shader in front of Honk's tent. There is a table. Is that this shader, Manu, or the other one next to the building?
Manu says we might have to work a bit on the RFID access controlled drafting machine. When he says controlled drafting machine, does he mean drafting as in drawing or drafting as in pouring beer.
That's interesting. The table is also not part of Graphe. See, prefab, there's a table. And the table is just standing in the wild. Table plastic outdoor 01. So I again put it in the props, static props, and I think we need to regenerate those props anyway. Open prefab. No table.
Oh, sorry. I was catching up with John T on Twitter to try and send us some. Dropped out of the stream. What were you asking? Prefabs?
So this table.
Yep.
It's here.
Okay.
When I now open the prefab. When I now open the prefab Graphe.
Ah. Yep. You know what it is though, right?
I vaguely remember, but I first have to get it in the right one.
Yeah, so.
When I move it, it says open prefab.
Yeah. But if you go back to main scene and then you click on the main Graphe object and then go over to the overrides button because you've been working in it. And then apply all. Now go prefabs.
Yay, now we only need to move it from architecture to props.
Yep.
That's everything. So, we need to find the whiskey bottles. They're not that far away. And if you want to ask John T for the point, is question of that I'm pretty sure he's having. Can we do this for the EMF camp too?
The whole of EMF camp.
I think he's falling off the table at the moment. I think that bottle is a bourbon bottle. I'll put it a bit to the side.
I think they're
Ooh, this is dangerous.
Manu, I was going to say your the RFID access controlled drafting machine. Actually, there's already mechanics in off-grid for you to be able to build that because you can set up RFID objects that can only be interacted with if you have the correct card or access. So we could actually set up the RFID drafting machine.
Oh, that's also interesting for like the data view.
Yep.
In the game.
whiskey bottles with German efficiency and neatness. Oh, there you go. Yep, making it a bit more organic. We probably want to do is kind of twist a few of them in different directions and stuff. I mean, unfortunately, Unity doesn't have a particularly easy way of adding some noise to the sort of rotations of things. Like, it'd be really nice to just apply Perlin to rotating everything by 15, 30.
Well, I think they have the biggest collection of whiskey bottles at the moment anyway, but we need more whiskey bottles. There's your table with 18 whiskey bottles at least so far. Okay, we have created some inside in here. We have created a proper floor, even though it has a weird texture.
Yeah,
and I have the feeling that this now fits here actually. The floor possibly, is it either too long?
It's a little long and it's a little high.
Yeah. The high might actually be nearly fitting because the floors were a bit high. Yeah. Anyway, we have something.
Do you want me to show you how to change the material?
They got a dance floor. Yes, they got a floor.
So, what you want to do is, you see to the right on the inspector, materials elements is Pro Builder default.
Yep.
Click on the little target to the right of it. And then you want to, I don't know, is it meant to be shiny or matte or?
I think it's kind of a one-down wood.
Right, so maybe specular low. There's a search bar on the top of that. So I would type in the top specular low. Yeah, there's a few of them actually. If you, on the right hand side of this window, there's a slider.
Works. The difference is this one is matte, this is two-sided, and this is something completely different. Yeah.
You don't generally need two-sided unless you've got something like paper or tent. Very thin.
Well, there was so many people at Get Off the Village, there might actually be that, and so many whiskey and so many beer kegs, there might actually be people seeing the bottom from the ground. Anyway, as we're here, edge view.
Twitter is just needs to stop trying to suggest wine.
Twitter will possibly suggest that you need to read Trump. That will get interesting, but let's not get into politics here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's like stick to the politics involved in the mod rather than try to get sidetracked by some other. Yeah, the story I've just been suggested is there's a £300 5G bio shield that experts say is just a cheap USB drive with a stick on.
Yeah, I saw that.
Unsurprising.
But as you said, we should not get dragged into Twitter.
True. Should.
So why is my handle for this thing over here? Because this is a way bigger floor.
Yeah.
This is land. I have land. I don't have floor, I have land. Let's look in the other tent. The floor size in the other tent.
Well, you probably just delete that one and take the one that you've just made the right size. And
well, it looks good at 3 places, so I'm just gonna.
I think we should think about trying to get you walking around again, and then maybe wrap up. Seeing as we said we would do a shorter.
Yes, I think that's a good part.
I think
So we need
go.
to find the point on why the map was in there.
Well, I reckon hit Control S to save your progress so far. Start. Then go to the level kit tool. Build tab. Go to the bottom of it. I think you might need to widen your window or lift up a bit. There you go. Hit build level. Let's just have to wait a couple of minutes while it should do its thing. Let's wait and see what happens.
Networking.
Seems really quick. Yeah, yep.
I have a new computer. It's a tad faster than the old one.
So now if you hit search for game. Yeah, sometimes it does. There you go. Now hit start. Now go to. No, it doesn't, does it?
No, map is fixed, but we are still several meters over the ground.
Yeah, but we need to just. That's a case of going in deep. I would expect it's something to do with Collider that's on the wrong place to do with the layout.
Do we want to try to debug this now real quick?
I don't know, it depends on what you're after. I mean...
Well, this might be some looking around for 3-5 minutes, and if it's not working, then let's jump back to here.
Yep.
But if we got it working, it would be nice if we can walk around and walk into the Garafel village, walk into the EMF camp tent.
Well, I'm trying to work out what it is. I think it looks to me like the collider for the land is just too high. Yeah. So
where's the collider in the hierarchy?
it's on the land.
Box collider.
Yeah. Try on that land plane, unless you've already deleted it. Yeah.
This is land.
Yeah. Map. You can probably take the collider off of the map.
Is this here? By box, unchecking the box collider?
Or just right click.
This way. box collider removed on the map. Now I have the water. Only the land has a collider. That possibly means we're falling through the sky when we walk over the border of the land. Is this the right one now? Is the height right? It looks for me somewhat right.
Right.
You want to give it a shot?
Yeah. So you need to rebuild asset bump.
Build level. Changes detected.
Yep. Get to the point where I'm ready for my little bed.
Yep.
Another
You think that's it?
with the child. Yeah, it looks like it's done, seeing as it's switched. So now try the networking doodah.
Do I need to save first?
Oh, you can, but don't need. Yeah. Right, so it's still floating.
Can we see if we have another collider here?
Can. Yep. I mean, so the easiest way of dealing with that is up top. There's something called there's a bar that says window. Very, very top. Whatever the thing that has file edit, etc. So, I can't even remember how to do it. I don't know. Can't remember what I did. Don't know. Oh right, yeah, sorry. Okay. Get this correct.
It is an interesting view. It just makes you afraid that suddenly gravity hits in.
Yeah. My brain is obviously hit a brick wall. Brain working fast. It's time. What was I trying to get rid of? I was going to try and teach you. So, okay, right. Go to Window Analysis. That was what I was trying to check out. And then in there is Physics Debugger. That's towards the bottom.
Where again? Analyzes Physics Debugger.
Yeah. And now, see there's two check boxes in the bottom of the window. One
Yeah.
says collision geometry. Click that.
I unchecked now those. Do you want me to leave only on the static colliders? And like...
Oh,
because I think we can just uncheck all of those to start with.
yeah. Yep.
And now?
In the main scene view, that you see there's a physics debug little UI tab. There's collision geometry and of the actual scene view, the image that you have on there.
Yeah.
Might need to click collision geometry and then it should start to show up. Okay, I'm not really sure what.
This is land. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll have some time to try out. Something somewhere for a weird reason that's still broken. That is something to fix till the next stream.
What is?
The collider. Till then, we sadly have to walk through the sky.
Yep. I think that's going to be the way it'll have to be. I don't know why the physics debugger isn't working in my brain. I keep sort of mildly kind of drifting away from being straight on that, just because.
Yep. That is a lorry with a flashlight.
That is a lorry, a floating high lorry.
That sounds appropriate.
Yep.
We're also high, I would say, roughly 4 meters. So if we ever got the question, how high were you? You can answer in this game 4 meters, maybe 5. There is the EMF cam tent, which we would like to pimp a bit and put actually the proper EMF cam logo on there.
Yep.
We should find to get the TourCamp logo, which I actually think I have as SVG.
Nice.
We need somebody that helps us with Blender to make this hole a bit bigger. Let's run over now through the trees. I also think this white drying sheds should get the correct color of.
Well, they're again a temporary
wood color.
They're kind of a temporary model, aren't they? That's their problem.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's definitely starting to come together, McFly.
Yes, we slowly get somewhere.
Yeah.
One of the things that I will also do within the 2 weeks till the next stream is place trees around the campsite. So outside of the campsite, plant lots of trees. So when you look, you mostly look against trees.
Well, I think we should try and come up with some 360 shots that someone's taken that's mostly sky, if not exclusively sky, but mostly sky. Best.
Yeah. There's the whiskey selection.
Yep.
I think I saw the beer kegs over there. I'm pretty sure the rest of them are in the tent. I now have issues looking. This looks really tight. Was it that tight?
I don't know. I do remember.
I think we have to ask Manu for this, if the gap between this tent and the buildings were really that tight, or if there was more space in between.
Yep.
But yeah, this is the Gravel Village. Over there's the park place that also somewhat fits.
Yep.
We need nicer. Yeah.
Go on.
We need nicer windows here for the building.
Yep.
And I have the feeling that the tower is not correctly on the hill anymore, but that's also a minor thing. And over there, we have the sea base.
Yep. Nice. Yeah, I'll work out that collider thing with you before.
Yeah, I'm gonna commit on push, and then you can have a look. It's nice benches, which we wouldn't be high up in the sky. We could have a seat on, but it's also kind of a interesting mode of being up here and being able to look this way. Okay, I think that is. Let me get over there.
It's pretty good progress. I think.
Yeah.
Get it all out there.
Yeah, and we've been walking around the campsite.
Cool. Well, thanks to everyone for watching. Thanks for all the messages of both encouragement and how to get the best out of being in the Steam Games Festival.
Yes, that's what we need to mention next time we are from the Steam Games Festival.
Yeah, the next time you see us streaming will be part of the Steam Games Festival. Off Grid has demos been selected, so we're going to be trying to do a couple of bigger streams during that week that hopefully hold your interest. So that's exciting bit. Yeah, we'll be making some announcements for that stuff on our Steam forum page and in the Discord. So if you want to hear more about that, then jump in. Manu says, thank you very much once again. Cheers. Manu, thank you for swinging by. Thanks to you and for everyone who's been in a couple of different chat windows that we have open, saying hello, being helpful. It's awesome. We much appreciate it.
See you again in 2 weeks. Next time with Mitch Altman and building the hardware hacking area. I guess we will do some slight pimping to the EMF cam tent and possibly do some minor other fixes.
Nice. Sounds good to me. All right. Well, remember to like and subscribe, whether you're on Twitch or YouTube or whatever else. Just hit whatever social media buttons you can that we're a part of, so that you can keep up to date on what we're up to. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming on again, McFly, too.
Well, thank you for having this. And
lots of fun.
All have a good night.
Yep. Night, everyone.